What's up, everybody? I'm talking to y'all from my car today. I had something on my mind that I've been wanting to share with y'all. I think a very important part of just the prison experience is the transition. Like once you have done so many years consecutive over so much time, like what's the expectations and what you should like bring, or if you want to help a person that's getting out of prison that's done 10 or more years, 7 or more years, however, like a dramatic amount of time, what you should expect and what you should offer them when you say you want to help them. Because offering help isn't offering just pure judgment, criticism, and having unrealistic expectations of actions or amounts of success or discipline and things like that. Because you got to think, when somebody gets out of prison, more often we're disciplined because we are in a restricted environment, which allows discipline to be easier. Because like, so the one thing is, it's like, all right, so I'm an alcoholic. So being alcoholic, we don't have liquor stores in prison. You can buy liquor, but only people in the cell can only make so much. It's not an unlimited amount of liquor. And so then having discipline or not overdoing it is easy because you can only buy so much. So it's not like you just going crazy. And so even when I was in prison, I drank a lot for a prisoner, but at the same time, it wasn't readily available like a liquor store is. And same thing with women. Like, yeah, I had a lot of conversations and phone relationships with women on the phone, being in prison, but getting out and having some kind of attractiveness to women, it's like, it's easy to not be monogamous. It's easy not to be faithful. And so when you dealing with men who got some kind of, physique or confidence or personality, and they get out, and women can, it's a whole different natural beast in a man that a woman responds to if she know a nigga gonna fuck the shit out of her. And so when you sit here and you have that kind of understanding, it's hard for a man, especially if like I don't want to say like the levels of attractiveness is really vastly different, because in prison you're more attracted to the relationship of the woman than the woman, as long as she's born a woman. But it's like, if you could be solid and be a good person to me while I'm in prison, like I'm gonna be like me. Like 3 of my baby mamas, I did time. Like I met them when I was in prison, and they stuck around for a long time and they got a baby. And so it's a big difference, because like I don't have no baby mamas outside of the women like that did time with me. And so I feel like that's a big difference for nigga, because like I didn't meet like a model on the street and get her knocked up and then had to be a better person or had to like do that. Nah, it was like, these are women that I had love and respect for because they was with me through an extended amount of time in prison. Like my last baby mama, like I was looking at life and she stuck around, and there was no reason for her to stick around for real, because we only knew each other for a short amount of time. And then life is life. And so it's a beautiful thing that we share baby now, but it's kind of hard now that expectations has changed, and people change when they have, especially women change a lot. Some men change too, but then it's like men like me that's been deprived of freedom and all these things that the world has. It's hard to get with the program, how people, yeah, they go have a baby, then they they get married, they doing all that shit. And me, it's like I can see my psychological differences from prison, in a way like I basically was raised in prison, and the person I became in prison, which is like I hold grudges, like and I'm not really like, I can forgive somebody, but I won't forget that, and I really stick to that. So when I don't forget, I don't change the way I treat you from the thing that I feel like you've done wrong. And it's not fair because I don't want you to treat me like that. But that's just one of them things. Like when you dealing with a nigga that did 13 years, it's like my first baby mama, she expected me to come get her pregnant, move in, get a job, and be a house dad. And then, you know, my second baby mama, who was really around the same time as my first baby mama, we had a different understanding. Like we traveled throughout California and did our thing. And then she ended up going to jail first. And then I ended up going to jail for something different. But she was already pregnant. And so by her being pregnant, she ended up having my baby while she was in prison. And I was fighting the case. And she expected something different. I was just like, when she went to jail, she expected me not to be fucking on women because she held me down when I was in prison. And I'm like, well, that would make sense had I not just did 13 full years. But I did 13 full years. And so then when she went down, I was already out. Like, let me see. I think maybe August, September. So I got out March. So we was out together like 6 months. And so it wasn't like I wasn't done experiencing vagina. So I was just like, I don't see how you can reasonably ask me not to fuck with anybody while you finna go do 2-3 years. And I just did 13 years. And that's a big difference for me. And so we had that misunderstanding. And then my lady's baby mom is like we was around, we did a lot of stuff and we had fun. But she just matured throughout the relationship into a monogamous relationship. And I just was still being like the same nigga, thinking like, cause you know, growing up, when you say you never change, that's something tight. That's some respect. Like I ain't never changed on nobody. Like I'm the same nigga. But then it's like when you in a relationship, you supposed to change, you supposed to grow up, you supposed to start doing something different. And so when you don't, you looked at as the weirdo because now she's doing motherly things and wifely things, and you talking about somebody ain't never changed up on you though. And that's a big thing. But like I was saying, like just the transition and the expectations of getting out of prison or getting out of jail, and what people have in their head and what's real is different from each other. And so because like when I was in prison, I went to school, I put myself through college. And so I was very disciplined. I go to work, I get off of work, I go study for so long. Then after I get done studying, then I listen to music, work out, and then that's my day. And I did that day in and day out. And so it looks very disciplined, but when you don't have too many options, it's not real discipline. You just doing what you allowed to do, but in a structured way. And so even when it comes to like just cleaning up your house or cleaning up your area, like you do that because it's not too much you can do. And then it's kind of like a competition amongst other prisoners because niggas will come by your cell and talk bad about you if your cell is dirty. And so you don't want niggas talking bad about, oh, this nasty ass nigga Stacks. So what a nigga do is you keep it clean. Boom. And you don't like, you know, that don't mean that when you get out, that's the same person that you is. You was that because that's what prison gave you. And so that's what I say about these unrealistic expectations. Like, yeah, a lot of people see me do a lot of good stuff. And so they expected something different. And when it didn't happen, it's like, you know, it's a big fight and argument and there's all these things like, damn, like, how was you like that in prison? How was you able to be like that in prison? Because I was able to survive in the reality that I had. And I think people should really start to think, like, analyze that, because it's a lot more to it than just, oh, well, when you was in prison, you did all these things. Yes, because I didn't have too many more options. And I think that's something people should start to really think about and take into account when you dealing with somebody who's fresh out or been out. Because I've been out almost 5 years now, and I'm still trying to get it together. But when people sit here and when they have these expectations and they treat me differently because I'm not fulfilling those expectations, because it's hard. The transition is hard. It's a learning curve. And some people have a shorter one and some people have a wider one. And mine's just a little bit wider. And then, you know, because my expectations was higher, My learning curve is wider, so it looks like a gang of failed attempts, which it is, because I've been in jail hella time. I've been in jail 16 times since I got out. And so it's like people get tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not really having some structure, or tired of not really having somebody really there. Like when they say unconditional, it's unconditional till the conditions change, and then the conditions came in. And so I just think that's a big deal. So just be mindful when you saying that you love somebody, or you there for somebody, you gonna help somebody that's getting out of prison, or you have these views on what they should do and what they shouldn't be doing, not knowing that even just getting out was a battle. Because I know niggas that's supposed to be out that still ain't out because it's hard. And so just getting out without catching time was hard. And now when you out, it's hard when, you ain't really got no full education, so you can't really just go and get any kind of job. And if you did, you still a felon. And even if you do, then you got these bumps and bruises that you got to learn through. Somebody told me like, oh, my whole time in college, we drank and we had fun. And after that, we got it together. Okay, well, this is my time in college. I didn't go to college. I went to prison. So I didn't have the same thing that y'all have. But then now, this is my time in college. I'm learning. And so with me learning, it's like, okay, well, you had that amount of time to do all those things, fuck up and learn and bump your head and then get it together. And in reality, if you look at the amount of time that it's taking me, it's the same. So it's going to get together when it gets together. But if you don't have patience and real consideration and real loyalty, then it's not going to be that. And then when I do figure it out, when I do get it together, then it's like, yeah, you was there for a minute, but then you gave up on me. You lost faith of me. I didn't lose faith, because I'm the one who's dealing with these failures. I done had over 30 jobs since I've been out. And so that's each one that I get fired from or I don't keep is a failure. And I'm the only one who got to deal and look at myself in the mirror like, damn, that's another one. Or damn, how I'm gonna figure this out? I done had all these kids now and I got to figure something out. Luckily, they moms got it for them, but that don't feel good when in your transition phase, you not being the person that you are, because you got to adapt to the world and you got to learn how to be a different you and a better you and stuff like that. So keep that in mind.